Hi, good evening. How are you doing? So, this evening we're going to be making, basically it's like a mac and greens, or you might want to call it a pasta vegetable cheesy bake. Basically what it's going to be pasta with a cheesy sauce and loads of veggies in it, all mixed together in the oven. Really fancy this today because I've been craving a lot of vegetables. We're going to be having this with a big salad as well. So it's going to be packed full of veg and nutrition. I'm going to get right started with making the cheesy sauce. So, I'm going to get the pan on. And this is a cheese sauce. I think I have made this in another video before. And this is like my standard sauce that I use if I'm making like a cauliflower cheese or anything like that. Essentially it's a flour-free one. It's not making a roux. I used to do it like that all the time, but I learned this recipe and I've used it, and you can adapt it in many different ways. It's really good, and it's packed full of veg as well, which is great. If you've got like little children that aren't keen on eating their vegetables, it's a good way to get a few veggies in them without them noticing. I don't have little children, I've only got big children, but there we go.
It's still difficult getting vegetables in them as well, isn't it? It
can be. So I'm starting off, I've got a sweet white onion here. You can use a red onion, you can use a regular white onion, it's absolutely fine, whatever you've got to hand. Or even no onion if you're not keen on onion. A vegetable stock cube. Then I'm going to add to this a good handful of cauliflower florets. There we go. And I've also got, this is so much easier, as you can see the packet's upside down, butternut squash. So much easier to buy it frozen and chopped. I do often use butternut squashes and just buy them whole, but for this kind of, for making a sauce when you don't want the whole butternut squash, it's just quite an easy way to do it. So I put in about an equal amount of butternut squash there, then I have the cauliflower. Right, let's pop that away. I'm also going to add in just a little handful of carrots because I've got some to hand over here. Now you can actually add all sorts of different things to this. You can do white potato and sweet potato. You can do, as I'm doing, cauliflower and butternut squash. You can do it lots of different ways. Try out different things and see what your preference is. I'm also going to add in some cashews. Now, as you can see, Old Mother Hubbard's cupboard is running dry. I usually buy all my nuts in bulk. Hadn't actually realised I was that low on cashews. So it's only going to be a little sprinkling that I've got left. I'd normally probably add at least twice as many. But that's okay. It's still going to be nice. The cashews are great because what they do is they... Essentially, this is going to be blended up at the end, just to let you know. I'm sure you can probably gather that. The cashews add a really nice creamy element to it. And they're packed full of protein and different nutrients. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let this come to the boil, turn it down and simmer it, and just cook it until everything's softened up. So really it's probably going to be, I guess, about 10 minutes for this.
That's going to be the sauce, is it?
This is going to be the sauce.
Okay.
So it's essentially the same sort of way you'd make a soup, really. But once this is come to the boil and it's softened up enough, I'm going to turn the heat off and let it cool just for a little bit before I blend it, just so I don't mess my blender up too much. Shouldn't do, actually, it's a pretty decent blender. But yeah, what's going to go with that, I will tell you now, and I'll do that shortly. But I'm going to do, obviously, some pasta. So this is the brand that I like to use. It's slightly more expensive than like the supermarket's own. However, it's called De Seco.
Okay.
De Seco.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a like a tortiglione. Now, just a quick word on pasta. It's a really staple item that lots of families use every single day. If you look on the nutritional information on the back of the packet, it will tell you how many grams of protein is in 100 grams. So a supermarket basic brand will have about 4 to 5 grams of protein per 100 grams. This one has 14. So it's basically got 3 times more protein than a regular supermarket owned one. I do realise that it's a little bit more expensive than the regular brands, and it is, obviously we're in a bit of a cost of living crisis, but if you notice that this is on special offer, I actually got this on special offer today. It was in Waitrose. I think it was an offer for about £1.20. A regular one is probably about £1, so it's only slightly more expensive if you can get this on offer. But it just packs a bit more of a punch nutritionally. So I'm going to be cooking this. And what are my greens going to be, or my vegetables? So I've got an assortment of things here. I've got some asparagus. I've got some more cauliflower.
That's not very green. In fact, that's the complete opposite of green.
This is the complete opposite of green.
That's orange.
But no, what I've done, I'm just going to put as many vegetables as some things we already had in that needed using up. We had a whole bunch of carrots, so this is why I'm putting carrots in this.
Okay.
You can add what you want. I know it's not green. I've got some green beans.
They're green.
I've got some broccoli.
Okay.
That's green.
All right, I'll give you that. Oh,
Thank
and
you.
that's green as well.
And some spinach.
The
greens will be present in this. So this is what's going to go in with the pasta. You can add extra bits if you want. If you want to add some like vegan chicken pieces or some vegan bacon pieces or anything like that, you can chuck it all in. It's going in a big tin. It's going to be a big bake. We're also going to top it with some grated cheese, and I have again, seems to be my favourite go-to at the moment, the Violife Cheddarton. Melts up really nicely, lovely strong flavour. It's probably the most similar vegan cheese to a regular cheese that we might have come across in a long time. Maybe also the Cathedral City is on par, but this has got a lovely flavour, so that's what we're using. Anyway, this is just coming to the boil now, so I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer up, and we will get back to you when we're ready to do the next segment.
Do you know the worst thing about being green?
What's that?
It's not easy.
It's not easy, baby. I thought you were going to do something about like the Incredible Hulk or something like that. Then it's like your anger stirs up.
It's Kermit the Frog.
Well, green is like the colour of the week because we just got some new curtains in our living room and they're green. And the kids said, oh, they go really well with all the houseplants. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? I think green is probably a colour that we have a lot of in this house. So why not have it in our dinner as well?
Well, Kermit the Frog sung a nice song about being green.
Yeah, I do know now that you've said that.
To be honest with you, I think in the lifestyle that he lived and how he worked and everything, I would have thought he'd had much more trouble being amphibious than just green.
That would have been his biggest problem.
But maybe he struggled with a word that rhymed with amphibious. So
yes.
It was easier to rhyme a word with green.
You make a very good point there, Andrew.
It's not easy being green, but it's even harder being an
amphibious.
An amphibious songwriter.
Yes.
That is difficult.
You're very right. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having a big salad with this dinner. So I've made the salad already. I'll just show you what I've done here. It's all sitting ready to go. So as you can see, we've got sweet corn. We've got some julienne carrot. There's some cucumber. There's some cherry tomatoes. There's watercress, red lettuce. And it's all looking amazing. But what I wanted to do with this is make a really nice salad dressing. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be doing very briefly. I'm making like a honey mustard dressing with some of the vegan honey. Obviously, regular honey isn't vegan. But I found a nice recipe on the BBC Good Food website of a honey mustard dressing. So I figured, let's give it a go. So firstly, we need 2 teaspoons of the honey. So, of course, with this sort of thing, you need to let it trickle in. It doesn't tend to want to come off the spoon on its own very easily. We're also going to put in 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Ooh.
Honey mustard.
Honey mustard dressing. It then called for the juice of half a lemon. Now, as I said, old Mother Hubbard's cupboard is running dry. And I normally have a really good stock of lemons, but sacre bleu, the lemons have run out. However, one of the kids, because I didn't buy this, one of the kids must have got a Jif lemon. So why not? Let's have a little bit of this. So, juice of half a lemon, I'm going to say is like a decent squirt.
Okay, go for it.
Yep. Yeah. Looks good. Bit of salt and pepper. And then it said 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm not going to measure this out, but...
Go on, plug it in there.
No, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4...
Really?
5,
Jesus. 6.
No, it's about 1 second per tablespoon by my calculations. I could be wrong.
Okay.
So let's get the lid on. We like to process things, don't we, Andrew?
Yes, we do.
Are you going to want to have a taste?
I do want to have a taste. It looks really good, actually.
I think it's going to be pretty good. It might still be a bit thick with honey, actually. Having gone in there, I might need to...
Let's give it a taste and then modify it. Should we
feel the need?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, this is more olive oil. I don't think I was counting. To be fair as well, this is the kind of olive oil that's got a bit of a stopper on it. So it doesn't flow out as freely.
It's weird though, actually, saying that. Initially it was really sweet, but then it's got an aftertaste to it.
Well, I guess the mustard gives
the mustard comes through afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll add a bit more of the jiff in as well. Maybe it wasn't quite enough for half a lemon. Who knows? This is a wing it kind of thing, you know? You know how we work, guys.
That's how
you know us well by now, I'm sure. Try again. Whizzy, whizzy, whizzy. Okay, let's use the end of the spoon now because we've already licked the other side.
Yeah, but it's only us, isn't it?
I know, but still, you know. Now that, it's pretty decent. I think that tastes lovely. What do you think?
Give us another go on it. Wait, no, the spoon.
No, lick it, lick it. Okay.
I would have preferred a more substantial amount to make a good judgment.
Have it on your salad. If you have too much of a substantial amount, there'll be none left.
But yeah, that did taste very sweet initially, but then that extra lemon juice and an olive oil
mellowed it out a bit.
Yeah, it's balanced it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're good. So let's state that the salad dressing is ready. Just as a side note, the saucy mixture has finished cooking and that's just cooling now. So we'll come back to you in a minute or two when we're ready to get that all blending up. Okay, so now we're going to turn this into a sauce. So it's been cooling down for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to pop it into my blender. Now it's worth noting how I siphoned off some of the stock. I'm fully expecting to need to use it, but I don't want it to be too liquidy. So I'm going to probably add it back in. But I just like to siphon some off just in case it's too wet at this stage. I don't want it to be too much of a runny sauce. Okay, so that's all gone in. And I'm just going to do it on a low setting to start with.
Then we get around this side because it's really dark.
Okay. So just going to get it started. All those lovely veggies. Turn it up a little bit. Okay. Next I'm going to add in some of the extra flavourings we're going to use. So a little bit of salt and pepper. As ever.
It smells really nice.
Thanks.
It's like baby food.
It does. You know what? This could before we've added the other stuff in, it could be baby food. So just put in a bit of mustard powder there, and then of course some nutritional yeast, aka nooch. This gives it the lovely cheesy flavour. Don't mind a good
Jesus,
a good dose of that.
It's like that Depeche Mode song.
Your own personal cheeses.
Yeah, cheeses.
Get it on a high setting now. Okay. So let's check it out. We may need to add the extra bit of stock back in.
It was Depeche Mode that did that song, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, Your Own.
Do you know what, actually? I don't know if we do need that extra stock. It looks like a... no, I reckon just a bit. I've just popped it in a little wafer-style cup.
Oh, is that the stock?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just putting an extra bit of the stock back in. Just going to whiz it up till it's nice and smooth. Okay, I reckon that might be done now. So there we are. That's our cheese. Oh, you can see it's nice and thick still and creamy. That's our cheese sauce.
Smell the cashew nuts in there.
Yeah. So that's just going to sit here until we're ready to use it. Now, onto our... I'm using my biggest pot I own. And I'm just preheating it with a little bit of water in there. So this is where I'm going to cook everything else. So for the first kind of, things take slightly different cooking times. So for example, the asparagus and broccoli and the spinach don't need that long, but the pasta, the carrots take the longest cooking time, then the cauliflower and green beans, and then the other bits. So I'm just going to add things in a reverse order, if you like. So the pasta will go in first with the carrots. After about 5 minutes, actually probably less than that, probably about 3 or 4 minutes, I'll add in the cauliflower and the green beans, and another 3 or 4 minutes I'll add in the last bits, just so we don't want the softer green vegetables to be overcooked. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Andrew?
Sort of. I'll just
If it's easier, you can just do this in separate pans.
It makes sense. But I was just looking at the timing for the video on this one again, and we've been trying to get our timings down. Although I do like the fact that we do the videos in kind of like real time, so you kind of get a general sense of how long the meal is going to take.
Yeah.
And this one's, I'm kind of worried.
Okay, so
our minutes are going up.
Let me break it down for you then. We will come back to you when all the pasta and vegetables are cooked. But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to let the pasta and carrots cook for about 4 minutes. Then I'm going to add the cauliflower and green beans because they have less cooking time. And then about 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm going to add in the broccoli, the asparagus, let that cook for a couple of minutes, and the spinach is going to go in right at the end because that is the shortest cooking time. In total, the cooking time will be about 10 to 12 minutes. We will come back to you in 10 to 12 minutes when this pot of delightful food is ready. How does that sound?
It sounds alright. It sounds like it's not that easy being green, and it's even harder being amphibious, but it's even harder to get the filming time down when you're filming Judy cooking.
Sorry.
That's
I
right.
do tend to like waffle on a bit and
No,
do it my own way.
we're not even been messing around doing any monkey business or anything, but it's still taking forever.
Like, you're moaning about how long it takes me to cook food, but you have a turn.
Oh well, tomorrow night I'll do cowboy pie. A deluxe one.
A deluxe cowboy pie coming soon.
Alright.
That suits me.
Alright.
So, all the vegetables are in, they're almost done. The last thing to add is the spinach. Spinach basically takes very little time at all. It just needs to wilt down. Doesn't really need that much cooking. Plus also remember this is going to go into the oven afterwards with the cheese sauce. So I'm just popping that in right at the end just to give it a few seconds to wilt up. All the other veggies looking great. This is going to be a really healthy, nutrient-packed meal, but also really tasty, I hope. Hope everybody agrees with me on that one. So, it's probably about time to turn the hob off and take this over to the sink to strain out all the water. So, I'll just get, this is going to be my tin I'm using tonight. We've got Dolly's special tin, of course, as ever. So, I'll take this over and just drain out all the, oh gosh, this is a heavy old pan, this one. Lot in it. Okay, oops. And now it's going. Sometimes you almost need to be an octopus and have a few more hands for this kind of event. There we go. Right, so let's bring this back over and we're going to whack this all into the tin. And as you can see, it's filled it up quite nicely. Let's just get these last bits out. Okay, so there we have it. All of the bits that are going in. Now it's time to add in our cheesy sauce mix. So I'm just going to pour this all over. And give it a little bit of a stir through, just to make sure everything's kind of nicely coated with the cheesy sauce. Oh, that looks lovely. And then we've got our Cheddarton, which we've grated up. So that's ready to be sprinkled all over the top. Just like that. Okay, so this is going in the oven. Now it doesn't need too long because everything here is already cooked. It just needs enough time just to sort of crisp up nicely on the top. So probably about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to pop that in now. And we will get back to you when it's all ready to dish up. Okay, so our dinner is ready. Let's dish up. So here's our feast of a pasta bake. Oh, wow. The cheese is really melted nicely on top of there. It's looking lovely. Look at that. Delicious and nutritious. Don't you love a poetic meal? So, Andrew, would you like me to dish up for you?
Yes, please, baby.
Okay. How hungry are you? A little hungry or a big hungry?
I'm kind of like medium hungry.
A medium hungry,
Yeah.
okay. Noted. So, there's some of the pasta bake. And now let's dish you up some of the lovely, delicious salad to go with it. Oh. I actually probably gave you a little bit more salad then than I
That's right.
intended to. It kind of like, I got a really healthy dollop of salad there. And some of the nice honey mustard dressing. Let's drizzle some of that over. Oh, it looks lovely. So, here we are, darling. Your dinner tonight. Lovely, delicious pasta bake with a side salad. Nice salad dressing there. At least, I'd say in that bowl alone, at least 3 to 4 portions of vegetables.
That's
which
one
is
of your 10 a day.
Yeah, well, they say 5 a day, don't they? But apparently they reckon it should be 7 to 10 a day for proper nutritional optimism. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's eat.
What are we going to watch on TV tonight?
I don't know what you fancy.
I don't know.
I went for anything.
Really?
Any suggestions, Summer?
Garfield?
Garfield?
No.
Let's have a think.
Yeah.
Let's have a think about that one.
Well, we've done Gremlins, we've done Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it.
We'll have a think.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Have a good evening.